Fujifilm X-M5 versus Fujifilm X-T30 II, two beginner entry-level cameras that Fujifilm still has in production. Which one to buy, which one to get? Let's talk about this now. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. In this video, I want to share with you my experience in using Fujifilm X-M5 versus Fujifilm X-T30 II, a camera that I've used for a long period of time, but in the end I decided to sell it for X-T50, but in the end I've regretted it because Fujifilm didn't include some features that were on X-T30 II. And now I do have Fujifilm X-M5. And what is more interesting is that both of these two cameras can be found online brand new, and the differences between them is just $100. But one is a little older, but it has some advantages, and one is newer with lots of advantages also. So I want to address this. For who is Fujifilm X-T30 II, why it's still in production, and for who is X-M5. Can you buy one and be okay with it? Well, first of all, I want to address size, weight, and ergonomics. Well, size and weight, it's very interesting. Fujifilm X-T30 II, it is lighter. What? It is lighter than Fujifilm X-M5. I'm looking now on the screen and it is 329 grams compared to 355 grams. So around 30 grams, but what is very interesting is that I felt that in my hand. So I was thinking, well, everybody praised X-M5 that it's light, it's small, but it doesn't feel so light like X-T30 II or like other cameras that I have. It's feeling as Fujifilm X-T50 in hand. So yes, X-T30 II lighter, with a better grip, have that in mind, with an EVF and with a flash and also with a tilt screen. So heaven for photography. More than that, X-T30 II, it is very flashed, but not as flashed as Fujifilm X-M5 because it has that bump for the EVF. It's a good EVF, and this is it. You have an EVF. You don't have here a rangefinder body. So regarding size, weight, and ergonomics, you have some advantages on Fujifilm X-T30 II. Big advantages there. So yes, regarding photography, especially X-T30 II, it's winning at size, weight, and ergonomics, definitely. So definitely for photography, it's winning, but it's losing some other parts. And by the way, I have a special newsletter dedicated to the passionate photographer. So if you want to learn more about photography tips, tricks, and all kinds of useful information for free, please subscribe to my newsletter, link in the comments and description. So where it's losing for photography, it's losing at AF. So here you have the latest AF with the extra sensor and with the modern image quality. And I'll talk about image quality a little later. But regarding AF, here you have a reliable AF, a more faster AF, and a more accurate AF. And this is important for photography, and especially when we are talking about Fuji. But on X-T30 II, the AF it's a little slower. It's like on X-E4, it's like on X-T3 and so on. Is this a deal breaker for photography? From my point of view, it's not a deal breaker for photography. But if you're a beginner and if you are obsessed with perfect AF, then yes, it could be a deal breaker. So it really depends on you. But if those ergonomics for a photography camera are more important for you, then I would say don't worry regarding AF. Now let me address the image quality. How is the image quality? It is comparable, it is the same. Well, I feel here that regarding image quality, we have a little better image quality, a little more cleaner files. It seems the files are more cleaner because we have the new Fujifilm look that Fujifilm brought when they brought Fujifilm X-T5. But other than that, the image quality, it is similar, but I would say that X-T30 II and X-T3 have that organic magic look from those sensors. But anyway, this is subjective. In the end, you have similar image quality, but this I would say a little better because of the AF and because of the modern X processor that it's rendering that cleaner images, that nicer colors and so on. And talking about image quality, Fujifilm, it's including at image quality the film simulations. So for Fujifilm image quality, it's also about color. Well, you have great color on Fujifilm X-T30 II, but also you have great color and more film simulations on Fujifilm X-M5. Boom. So you have better image quality, I would say, because you have here nostalgic negative, classic negative, that it's also on X-T30 Mark II, and more options, and better AF, and so on and so on. So at image quality, you have here some pluses regarding photography. Now let's discuss about videography. Well, this is a beast of a machine regarding videography. You can do vlogs, you can do videos, you have 6K, open gate, 10-bit, and so on. It doesn't matter. Ultra packed, like XS20, latest and greatest. And you can also add a cooler fan to cool this camera for videography. So you are bulletproof if you want to do any kind of videos with this camera. Also, X-T30 Mark II has the option to make videos, but I didn't like it at all for videos. The AF, it's the old AF. So for videography, X-M5, it's winning a lot here. Now what to choose? Well, it is pretty difficult. It is really pretty difficult. I do feel that X-T30 Mark II at this present day, it's a little bit old, but it has an advantage. It has a very, very interesting advantage. First, it has the manual focusing options, the good manual focusing options that are on X-T3, on X-Pro 3, on X100V. So you don't have the red picking bug. The Voigtlander lenses are working great with X-T30 Mark II. You have, regarding photography, all the specs that you could want, and also a reliable firmware where you can change between a recipe and another recipe and not lose settings. So it's working regarding photography like a charm. Probably it's the best and last camera, very well made for photography with a very nice firmware flow. I don't know when Fujifilm will resolve the firmware flow, the Voigtlander bugs and the red picking, that it's all over the image when you are using a manual focusing lens. This is crippled here. You don't have this here. Also, you don't have automatically exiting from the punch-in zoom image. So if you are towards photography and just photography and want a more reliable camera for photography, for street photography, for family photography, Fujifilm X-T30 Mark II, a beast of a camera. Those manual focusing options that I am praising on Fujifilm X-T30 Mark II, they aren't on X-T50, and also they are at the limit on X-T5. Good, but at the limit for my liking. On X-T30 Mark II, excellent. On X-Pro 3, excellent. On X100V, excellent. On X-T4, excellent. Here, don't think about manual focusing, but you can do it. Don't get me wrong, you can do it, but you don't have those options. You don't have automatically punching, exiting from the image. You have the Voigtlander bugs regarding aperture and EXIF data. So if you are into photography and want a camera just for photography, then X-T30 Mark II, it is fully packed with options for photography. But if you aren't in manual focusing photography, if you are okay with a flippy screen, if you are okay without a flash, if you are okay without an EVF, also this camera, it's very good for photography because you have the latest AF, you have the latest image quality and the latest film simulations, and more than that, adding as a bonus, the ultra good video capabilities. So you pay a price under $100 that you would pay for X-T30 Mark II, but you get so much more specs in this camera. So you'll get much more useful specs and not just specs to have it here. So you really get lots of good specs. On X-T30 Mark II, you get very good specs regarding manual focusing options, how I've said, and very good ergonomics regarding photography. So it's pretty hard to choose. It really depends. If you want a photography camera, then choose X-T30 Mark II. If I would have to choose now between this and this, I would choose just X-T30 Mark II for photography. But for videography, for the fact that I can do videos with reliable AF, short clips, and having nostalgic negative color and all other options on this camera, probably I will choose this, but on the long term, because I really do love to shoot a tilt out screen, so a screen that is tilting towards me, not a flip out screen, then I would choose X-T30 Mark II. So in the end, it really depends on what type of photographer you are. If you are a hybrid photographer, so you want to do video and photo, and now video has lots of traction on social media, not like photo, then X-T30 Mark II, it is a better choice. Of course, it's a better choice because you have all these options, but you lose the ergonomics. Other than that, again, the ergonomics, it really depends entirely of you. I do think that for young people, X-M5, it will be okay if they are coming from a phone. So yes, both have great value in it. The other camera that has better value, but of course another price, it is Fujifilm X-T50. And we are able to see that X-T50, from my point of view, how I've said from the first time, it is the best small camera from Fujifilm regarding specs, ergonomics, and what it's offering, because it's a small X-T5 packed. So in conclusion, X-T30 Mark II and X-M5 are both great cameras, but it really depends what you want. Either way, you'll not go wrong with photography here and with photography on X-T30 Mark II, but you'll go wrong with videography on X-T30 Mark II, and you'll go very well with videography on X-M5. So this has the advantage of being cheaper and being very good also at photography, with some downside regarding ergonomics, but very good at videography. So choose the camera that you feel it fits you best. Other than that, please subscribe now to my channel. Check my affiliate links if you want to buy something from the gear that I'm using from Amazon and B&H, and please support my channel using my affiliate links. Also subscribe to my newsletter for more photography tips and tricks. Recommend my video, leave me your comments, and please be sure to check the next video. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.